Hello everybody, I am Angry Bird. Welcome back, welcome to another Steel Division 2 League cast. This time we have Group 2 and the next two games will be closing off the coverage of Group 2. We have Loli playing the 3rd US Armoured on Maverick versus Frubblord playing the Panzer on Vanguard. And Loli, to my channel, might be a new name to a couple of you guys, but we have cast him in the past, and he is often known by his in-game name, which is Ortfine Frederica. So you've seen a couple of casts from him, and he is a great player. I've decided this time to cast him under his Discord name of Loli. He's a mod on my Discord, and the reason being is tomorrow when we see the results of Group 2, when we close off the coverage and we see the final Group 2 table, you will see Loli's name up there and you won't see the name Ortfine Frederica. So I didn't want to confuse any of you guys by casting this game and then him not appearing on the table. So that's why we're casting him under his proper name. And yeah, much love to Loli. He is a great guy and often gets a lot of abuse from players, but he is a fantastic Steel Division 2 player. You will all, of course, know him from the official Steel Division Discord as well. I'm sure you are all on there, but if you aren't, then you can have a quick look in the description of this video, and there is a link to the official Steel Division League Discord if you want to join that. So we have Loli playing the 3rd US Armoured on the left hand side in red on Maverick income, and let's have a quick look at the deck. Very interesting artillery tab, all off maps. So he's got 2 off maps in A, 2 in B and 3 in C. All of his artillery is off map, which we don't see often. He is going to be an M8 Russia, not so much like Spanish in the last game we saw. He's got 9 M8s. Actually, Spanish did have a few M8s, more in the support tab, but Loli's opted for the M8 Scots in the support tab instead. All A and B phase infantry cards, a bit like Spanish, and with the Maverick income, I guess it's one of the best ways to use this deck. If you try and take this into C phase with 3rd US Armoured, they start to struggle with the infantry. And even when you look at the numbers in A and B phase, I mean, B phase 24 units of infantry. Like, I normally take 24 on my balance deck, so it's not like they've got even loads of infantry in A and B phase. But up against the Panzer he's going to have to rely on taking out some of the heavy tanks, and this map as well doesn't necessarily favour the 3rd US Armoured. Certainly in the north it does, in the city areas, but in the south it's very open, and we could see Frubblord with the Panzer take control of that southern side. The game is underway. Wow, very quick deployment. I'm going to very quickly cover this deck. Lots of SPWs in A phase. We're going to see a lot of those out, and it's really down to the Panthers. We've got what, 6 in A phase, 6 in B phase and 9 in C phase. A hell of a lot of Panthers to take on the US Armoured, but it's all going to be down to the Panthers, I think, versus the Shermans, because the infantry tab's certainly a lot more for Frubblord. And interestingly, he is on Vanguard income. It's not a balanced deck, it is a Vanguard income deck, so in A phase he will match up well against the income of Loli, but in C phase obviously he will lose all of that income. Right, the game is underway. In the northern side we've got the M8 shooting down the road at the infantry coming in and really forcing them out, but an early Panther D from Frubblord will come up, engage that M8, and that M8 is bound to go down as soon as that Panther D gets the right sight on. But look at this, the half track, where is it, the M3A1 OP 105mm half track. I would expect any moment now a off map to come down. Let's just quickly look at the southern side. Very loose defense. The Pack 40, I'm surprised Frubblord not taking more advantage of this southern side with the armor that he has available. I mean, a Panther D down here, there's nothing that Loli would have to stand up, but I guess he's going to look to defend that northern town with as much armor and as much equipment that he can get his hands on. Loli holding the central flags with the heavy flamethrower there. The M8 is going to go down at some point to the Pack 40, although the M4A1 will now start to engage. The Pack 40 engages that as well. Right, I think the off-map has started. Look at the numbers of infantry being pinned down, but nothing really coming in from Loli to follow this off-map up. And Frubblord's got quite a lot of units up here. Actually, he's got a hell of a lot of units. So I'm not sure. It seems like Frubblord's got a disparity of units right now. I guess the cost of this off-map, 80 points, is fairly expensive. We did see there was an M8 go down in the north, and well, the M8 survived, although the M4's gone down in the south. And yeah, it feels like Loli's a big disadvantage right now. I'm not sure where his starting units have gone. The M4A176 doesn't really have sight down the road. The Panther does, from the looks of it, although it is being forced back by the off-map. I reckon that's the second off-map. The first one did come down. The engineers will engage, although taking on pioneers, and an M4A1 coming in, but the Panzergrenz have that Panzerfaust. Oh, the pioneers are forced back. We could see some important surrenders here. One of them does go down. The second one is going to get away. This M4 does discover the Panzergrenz. That's going to really help Loli out. Actually, no, firing on the half. I think it's switching fire between the half track and the Panzergrenz there. Reinforcing infantry does come in, and look how far Loli ordered that infantry in. Is that going to get... Oh, is the second one going to go down as well? Unloads just in time. But yeah, Loli's looking in trouble in that northern town. Just doesn't have enough equipment there. The M8s are going to engage from the ridge while they make their way in to reinforce this northern central position. The M4 has gone down, I think, to the Puma. Did manage to get around, get a shot off, but the combined fire of the M8s, I think, will be able to overwhelm the Puma. Potentially Loli could overwhelm that position in the south. The SDKSR 250/9 has pushed forward. The M8 is still alive right now. It is still alive, although it's sight damaged, gun jammed, and unusable. And now it finally goes down. But until Frubblord pushes through with infantry, he's not going to take the position. Do have a jumbo coming in here, and this is a good unit choice because there's nothing here that can really take out the jumbo. The Pack 40 is out of APCR ammo, and even with APCR it can't really penetrate the jumbo, so that's a good choice of unit down in that southern side. The Panther D pushes up in the north, the Panzer Veningtons push up, the infantry's gone down, everything's surrendered, and the M8s do push through though in this northern central ridge area. Although now tackling with two Panther Ds, so Frubblord on the Panther Ds early. I think that's a good decision actually, to bring out those Panthers early. Does hold the flag with that half trap, but it will go down to the jumbo when it comes in. A very tight game at the start. Lots more infantry coming in now with an M5 gun. It's exactly what Loli needs, but he could get overwhelmed here. The M8s, I think, have just backed away from the edge of that ridge, just overwhelming the infantry with their 50 cal fire and the fire from the 37mm gun. One of the Panzergrenz reinforcing this southern side does go down, or does get pinned down by the M8s. Frubblord pushing forward the Panzergrenz with the Panzerfaust, but I think Loli's carefully keeping his armor just far enough away at this point in time. The Panzer Veningtons do get discovered, although the M5 gun goes down. Infantry going down in the transport. This is very close, but Loli has the 1410 at the moment, and he potentially has the lead, but this is very tight. These Panthers could be extremely costly unless Loli can find a way to take these Panthers out. I feel like Frubblord's just going to push them forward, and look at this position that he could push them into and just dominate the reinforcement zone. But but the Sherman is pushing forward into a nice overwatching position, and potentially will have nice sight over the reinforcements coming into this central area. The M8's pushing forwards once again. This time they're, well, no, they were pushing forwards, I think, on an attack move, a fast attack move there, but did stop to engage the Panzergrenadiers with the Panzerfaust, and the Panther. They do engage the M4A176. One of them does go down. I think potentially to a side shot from the M4, and the other one's in a tough position. Let's see whether we can pick that up let's see whether we can pick that up on the video. Are we going to get that? Can we see? I don't think I'm going to be zoomed in enough to see what took that Panther down. I think it was the M4A176 in the northern area that did actually get the killing blow onto that Panther frontally. And actually, it wasn't too far away. It's probably around 600-700 meters away, so should have had a decent penetration chance. But actually, I think the M4s will have helped as well come down this road, and Frubblord unlucky to get those Panthers, I think. Well, I think if that M4A176 wasn't there, the Panthers would have dominated by now. But yeah, Loli strikes back, and those Panthers have hurt him. He has pushed forward armoured rifles and is holding this position back there. Down goes the Pack 40. That's really going to hurt unless Frubblord brings in something to defend here. And M8 Scott coming in as well. And with no heavy Panther down here, you know, Frubblord's going to lose out. I'd like to see a heavy Panther come into this central position here, because it's really going to dominate this open ground. But at the moment, we've seen 1, 2, 3 in the north. I think we had 6 in A phase, if I remember right. Oh, down goes the M4A176 to the Focke-Wulf 190 G8. I can't look at the payload because it is retreating. The half track, I think that's used all of its. That's bound to have used all of its ammunition up. Some more infantry coming in, but at the moment the infantry's holding it for Frubblord, and we do have the Panzergrenadiers. They could push forwards and potentially trouble this M4A1 with the Panzerfaust. The Panther has backed off, started engaging, but there's a number of Shermans here. I think, yes, the Panzerfaust does come off and gets tracks broken. Do we get the kill? Yes, the kill does come down onto that M4 as well. Panther's still around, has taken out and now gun jammed the 2 M4A1s, and the M10 tank destroyers are actually going to be the best opportunity for Loli to take out that Panther. And I think if he does, it may tip the balance in his favour. The Focke-Wulf coming in, I think, for the M8 there. Loli has managed to pick up these 2 flags here. He's got the 15-9, but this is tight. This is not this is a close game. In comes the bombs onto the infantry. No, the M8, sorry. Does take that down as well. Those Focke-Wulf 190 G8's very strong. The infantry now engaging with the armoured rifles. The 2 tank destroyers just engaging infantry with the HE shells. And at the moment, Loli, I think this southern side's very open. Frubblord needs to look down south. Because if he does not bring some reinforcements in, this entire southern area is going to fall into Loli's hands. Another Panther up north. Another one up north. I want one in this southern side. Frubblord, give me a Panther in the southern side. And 2 Panzergrenadiers come in, and potentially I think they're, yes. Well, they will recover the flag, and I think they'll take control of this southern side. And Panzergrenadiers down. I'd like to see this Panzergrenadier move forward and spot that Sherman, because then the Panther could come around and kill it. But the M1 one actually is there. Still will have difficulty penetrating the Panthers though. The M10 tank destroyers, I think, are going to get a shot off against the Panther. Loader wounded. First shot, tracks broken. That's a big kill. But the loader was wounded. So it does go down, but the tracks are broken now. So unless Frubblord brings in a supply truck, he's not in a great spot. Down comes another off map from the M4A1 150mm OP, and that will punish the infantry. Ooh, ammo explosion. The M10 tank destroyers do the job, and the infantry is coming in now. We could see some major surrenders here. Still under off-map fire. One unloads, one gets destroyed, the other unloads early. Potentially, will this engineer just drive through? It will do. The off-map's finished. Surely this is going to be surrenders aplenty. Oh, only 2. I don't know how this Panzergren didn't surrender there. But the engineer's pushing all the way forwards. There's nothing in the back lines. Oh, it does now unload. I think saw the battery Führer. And surely this entire area is falling to Loli. Oh, Frubblord, he brought in the Opel Blitz to fix up the Panther D. But the Panther D got shot down before that Opel Blitz could come in. He's reacting now with the STKZ 250/9s with the auto cannons. They can certainly do a great job against the infantry, but he's actually, well, he's got this one Panther D up here, currently not in a fantastic position. It's kind of a bit in a tough spot. We do see, is that a Panther? Yes, there is a Panther there. It's a Panther D, yes. In the southern side, it is now being engaged by the Jumbo, and actually will, I think in the long run we'll win out against the Jumbo, but we'll definitely struggle to penetrate that Jumbo. And second Panther D in the southern side. I think Loli has taken advantage of this southern side expertly well, and he's got the 17-7 right now. There's 9 minutes left on the clock, but really this southern side should be in the control of Frubblord with those Panthers. But excellent choice of unit for Loli to bring in the Jumbo. Down come the Focke-Wulf 190 G8 bombs. I forgot again to look at the payload. I want to know the size of these bombs. Onto the Jumbo, but that thing's got thick armor. Double Panther should be able to help out and suppress back the Jumbos. And crew kill onto the M8 Scott. That's something at least. But the Panther does get transmission damage. Potentially. Oh no, transmission damage will keep it stuck in that position. I want to cover that, but I do want to keep eyes on the north. And Frubblord's infantry have been pinned down. I think that's the M4A1 off map again doing its job. We highlighted the off map artillery, and Frubblord will be hating those off map strikes. But interesting play. And actually the infantry have come forward and surrounded the M4 in this area, but the M4 is sneaking forwards. Potentially could get a rear shot onto this Panther D if Frubblord is not careful. The Panther's engaging the infantry across the river, and wow, yes, this northern side, this is still a very tight game. Ortfine has the Loli has the 14-10, but he's getting pushed back, I think, in this southern area. The capture of this central area is really hurting Frubblord. I want the Pioneer unloading here in this building. I don't want it pushing through here. He has to take control of these two flags. 15-9 now for Loli. The Panther pushing forwards. Oh, bailout! Bailout! I think it was the M5 gun that got the bailout. But what an absolute key moment that was. Let's take another look. Oh, I just missed it there. Yeah, I did miss that replay there, so unfortunately we don't get to find out which one of those it was. But maybe, well, Frubblord with the surrender there. Wow. Wow. I'm surprised about that surrender then. I am genuinely surprised by that surrender. 50 minutes, 26 seconds. Loli takes the victory against Frubblord. And look at the kills versus losses. So tight. That game was really close. That was a close game. And was Frubblord right to call the surrender? I didn't catch the clock when he called that surrender. I know Loli had a major lead. He had a major lead. And we were... How far into that game? We must have been well into B phase. In fact, let's see. 15 minutes. Oh, midway through B phase. So Loli will have had an income advantage for the remaining time, but I think there was still opportunity for Frubblord to equal that game at the 12-12 and grind it out in a C-phase victory. I guess maybe, I think the odds were in Loli's favour. Definitely the odds were well into Loli's favour, and but I still think Frubblord had a chance. There was still a chance there for him to come back into that game. And looking at the kills lost, you know, it's equal. It's very equal. The income really, I think, was favouring Ortfine at the start. Well, it favoured Frubblord at the start with the Vanguard, but I think in that B phase it was favouring Loli. And also I think Frubblord was relying on those Panther Ds, very expensive, so we didn't have many of them on the field, and plenty did get taken out. But I think once we hit C phase, if Frubblord would have managed to keep it to C phase, I mean, he had about 8 minutes left, probably about 2 minutes ago, so I reckon there was probably about 6 minutes left on the clock, which would have just pushed it to C phase. So he needed to take a couple of flags back, extend that timer. But if he'd have made it to C phase, he'd have had 110 income versus the 80 of Loli, and I still think there was opportunities there for Frubblord. Let's look at the kills for Loli. The M4A176 did get that Panther D kill. That was the one we saw on the replay in the northern side. Oh, what a kill that was. Really important getting that Panther D kill. And look at the Jumbo on the southern side. It just tanked everything. Did take Pack 40 out. That was a fantastic buy on that southern side, because there's only one real unit that Pack 40 will struggle against, and it was the Jumbo. So what a buy that was, bringing that Jumbo in, because I think lesser players would have opted just for a couple of M4A1s, a couple of M8s, but that Jumbo just sat there and tanked absolutely everything. What else do we have? We have the M8s. They did a decent job in that northern central area. Did take out the Puma after the Puma took out the Sherman in there. And I'm interested, where's the artillery? I want to know how effective that artillery was. I don't think it... So here we have a couple of Panzergren kills, but that's it. I think it was more suppression and then surrenders. That was the name of the game for Loli. But Panther D, it went down to the M5 gun. This was... where was that? The M5 gun? Was that the one we had the replay? The bailed out. That was the one with it, yeah, in the southern side that we were trying to get that replay on, but I couldn't quite see whether that was the Jumbo or the M5 gun. Well, it was the M5 gun that got the final kill, and I suspect it was the M5 gun that got the bailout as well. The M10 tank destroyer here in the this was kind of on the ridge in the central area. I think got the Panther D. I think it was this one, either that or the northern one. Those two may have switched between. And then, you know, those Panther Ds, very expensive units compared to the M10s and the M4A1s and the M8s. So, yeah, that was a tight game. That was a really tight game, and I imagine throughout that game, both players were like, micro-wise, would have been like all over the place, like. When I'm saying all over the place, I'm not saying all over the place as in bad. I'm saying like very good. Like they'd have been microing everything everywhere. I think Frubblord, where Frubblord lost it for me is that southern side. He should have been more. I think he should have had a Panther D down there earlier, and I think he should have. There were a couple of spots where we had two infantry units, I think, from Loli that were holding so much ground, and if we'd have just had one infantry unit in from Frubblord to counter that front line hold, and then Frubblord would have had a lot longer to hold on to the game, and potentially would have felt that he'd have had a bit more of an advantage to hold into C phase and then win the game overall with the C phase income advantage. Panther D, 2 heavy flamethrowers, an M8 and an armoured rifles. Ooh, these flamethrowers 15 points, that's 30. The M8s, I think about 30 points, I think. It's about 60, about 90 points. So that Panther D didn't pay itself off there. The Panther D here did with the M10 kill, the M4 kill and the 8 kill. That was a nice one. The Puma did get that 8 M4 kill that we suspected. This Panther only killed one squad of engineers, so yeah. That northern side, the Panthers, they were in there and they were countering the armor, but at the same time, the kills that they were getting were just infantry kills, whereas in the southern side, I don't know. I think Frubblord, for me, if you'd concentrated a little bit, just one Panther D in that southern side earlier, but we got the jumbo in, and then we had to have 2 Panthers to counter the jumbo. And that gave Loli enough time to bring in the M5 gun, which ultimately took out the main Panther down there. And Loli picks up the victory. 15 minutes 26 seconds. Congratulations to Loli, but that was a very tight game, and a great game to watch as well. We're going to leave coverage here today. Hopefully you've enjoyed the game. If you have, please give me a thumbs up, and it helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and also check out the links in the description to my Patreon, Discord, and Twitch pages. I just want to say thanks very much to the patrons that are supporting me. Their support is invaluable to keep me going, and also in the future all of it will be used to upgrade equipment to hopefully bring you better quality videos, so check out that Patreon. But thanks very much for watching. I am Angry Bird. I will see you next time.